Today I'm going to show you how to solve an equation by our factoring methods. This is going to be much easier than what we did yesterday and the day before with solving by graphing. There's an awful lot of stuff we had to do with the graphing things. Factoring is going to be a much easier method, but you need to remember all the different ways that we learned how to factor in Chapter 7. Okay, it's Chapter 7 and Chapter 8. We did all kinds of factoring things. So the first type of factoring we're going to look at is equations that have already been factored for us. So these are going to be super easy. You already have the set of parentheses there. So what we're going to use is something called the zero product property, ZPP, zero product property. So what we're going to do is take each set of parentheses, we're going to pull them apart and set each one into its own little baby equation. So the first one is just going to say x plus 2 equals 0. And the second one, when we pull that out, is going to say x minus 6 equals 0. We have two little simple equations, and we just need to solve each one. So the zero product property says you're going to set each one equal to 0. Okay, and then you just have to solve. So remember, when you're solving, this is just a one-step equation. You're just going to do the opposite of what it says. So we're going to subtract 2 from both sides. We get our first solution, x equals 2. And over here, you're going to add 6 on both sides, and you get your second answer of x equals 6. So that means if you were looking at a picture of this one, like we were doing in the last couple of days, that means that your picture would cross at 2 and 6, and you'd have your parabola looking like that. So instead of making a picture, we're just solving to come up with the solutions by factoring. Okay? All right, here's two more we're going to try. Get that out of the way for you. So these are also already factored. They're in the sets of parentheses. All we have to do is take each piece out. Now this first one might look a little funny because there's no parentheses there. That's okay. If there's something in the front, pull that out and just set it equal to 0. And that one is done. There's nothing to move away from the x, so it's already done. Your first solution is x equals 0. The second one, x plus 4 equals 0. Subtract your 4 from both sides, and x equals 4. So your two solutions are 0 and 4. All right, the next one, you're back up to two solutions again, so go ahead and pull each one of those out. And solve each one of those. Add 7 and subtract 8. Two solutions are 7 and negative 8. Okay, we're just going to do two quick other ones, and then you can go ahead and start your homework, and you can put it on pause. If you think you know what you're doing already, you can go ahead and hit pause. First one, we'll pull this out. X plus 3 equals 0. X plus 8 equals 0. Subtract both sides. First solution, negative 3. Subtract both sides. Second solution, x equals negative 8. Now on this next one, you have two things going on here. You've got 2x minus 1. So your answer isn't just going to be 1. We're going to have to do a two-step equation on this one. So first we'll plus 1 and get 2x equals 1. Now we have to get rid of the 2. Remember, hiding inside of there is a little times sign, so the opposite of times is divide. So your first answer is 1/2. Second one, this will be easier. X plus 5 equals 0. Subtract your 5, and x equals negative 5. Okay? All right, so there's the first half of your homework, page 653, 1 through 6, 20 through 25. Go ahead and hit pause, work on those, and when you're ready, you can come on back. Now, this next half of your homework, they are not going to be factored for us, so we're going to have to remember all of our factoring methods. Most of them that you're going to be looking at today are going to be the simple trinomials. So a reminder on factoring, you're going to look for all your numbers that multiply together to give you the back, and then they have to add to give you the middle. Remember to look at your signs. If the sign in the back is plus, that means your answers are either both going to be plus plus or both be minus minus. You're going to decide by looking in the middle. And if your sign in the back is negative, that means one has to be plus, one has to be minus. Bigger number takes the sign. So for this first example, you've got the number of 10. Think of two numbers that multiply to give you 10 that add to give you 7. We're going to use 5 times 2. So we can go ahead and put in our 2 parentheses. Remember, x squared always breaks into x times x. We're going to use 5 and 2. Since our number in the middle, our sign in the middle is plus, we're going to use both plus plus. Plus 5 plus 2. Set it equal to 0. And now we go ahead and do our zero product property. Pull each piece out to come up with your answers. X plus 5 equals 0. Subtract 5 from both sides. X equals negative 5. X plus 2 equals 0. Subtract your 2 from both sides. X equals negative 2. So the second half of your homework is going to all be about factoring first. All right, this next one is a reminder of your difference of 2 squares. Difference of 2 squares will factor into 2 sets of parentheses, 1 plus, 1 minus. 25 is on that list of perfect squares. What does 25 come from? Yes, 5s. X squared is x times x. 25 comes from 5 and 5. And now you pull each piece out and solve it. X plus 5 equals 0. Subtract 5 from both sides. X minus 5 equals 0. Add 5 to both sides. 2 solutions, negative 5 and 5. Question number 3 up here has 2 pieces in it, and for this one, we're going to take out what they have in common. So here's another thing that we learned with our factoring. What do these 2 terms both have in common? There are no numbers. There's a 1 in front of this one, so the only thing they share is a 1. But remember with the powers, you take the biggest power or the smallest power, take the smallest power. So we're going to take out x to the first. Take out, remember, means to divide by. We didn't take out any numbers. X squared, take out x to the first, leaves us with x. Sign in the middle is plus. 12 divided by 1 is still 12. We started with x to the first. We took out x to the first. We don't have any x's left. Close your parenthesis. Equals 0. Now you have your 2 pieces and you can pull each piece out. So remember, when you have just this plain number in the front, set that plain thing equal to 0 and x equals 0. There's nothing to solve. That's the first answer. And then the second piece, x plus 12 equals 0. Subtract 12 from both sides, and you get your second answer, negative 12. 2 left. X squared plus 2x equals 8. Now if you notice on this one, this does not say equals 0. In order to do this zero product property, it has to say equals 0, which means the first thing you're going to have to do is move the 8 to the other side. So if we subtract 8 from both sides, it'll move it to the left. X squared plus 2x, we want that minus 8 to be sitting in the back. Now it is ready to be factored. 2 numbers that will multiply to give us negative 8. Now we've got a negative, which means we're going to have to use both a plus and a minus. 2 numbers that multiply to give you 8 would be 4 and 2. One of them is going to have to be plus, one has to be minus. Bigger number takes the sign. Put in your x. We're going to use 4 and 2. Bigger number takes the sign. Sign in the middle is plus. 4 is bigger. 4 takes the plus. Equals 0. Now we can go ahead and pull out each piece. X plus 4 equals 0. x minus 2 equals 0, and solve. Subtract 4. First answer, negative 4, plus 2, x equals 2. All right, on this last one, 2x squared minus 12x plus 18 equals 0. Do you notice any numbers in common going all the way across? Yes, good. 2 goes into all of them. So we're going to factor a 2 out of this entire thing. There are no x's in common going all the way across, so we can't take any x's. X squared minus 12 divided by 2 is 6x, plus 18 divided by 2 is 9. Now I'm going to have to factor what's inside that parentheses. This is a simple trinomial, and if you notice 9 in the back, that's one of your perfect squared numbers. So maybe this is one of your perfect squared tricks. Two numbers that multiply together to give you 9, 3 and 3. Do 3 plus 3 give you 6? Yes. So you can write this as 2 parentheses x minus 3 squared equals 9. Or if you choose, you can just write it as x minus 3 times x minus 3 equals 0. Now here's the thing. When you have something in the front, you usually set that out by itself and set it equal to 0. But does this one make any sense? It only works if there's a number, if there's a letter in the front. So x equals 0, that's a solution. 2 equals 0 is nonsense. That makes no sense. You can cross that one off. X minus 3, pull that out. We can solve that one. But remember, this little 2 right here means it's actually in there twice, just like this one if you write it twice. So you actually have the same thing twice. This is called a double root. Got the same answer twice. X equals 3, x equals 3. Same answer twice. X equals 3. And then this one, 2 equals 0, we cross that one off because 2 does not equal 0. That made no sense. So today is all about factoring. You need to remember your factoring methods. Go back to your notebook to check all of them out if you have to. Make sure you get your parentheses first and then pull your parentheses out to solve. So this is the second half to this one. Page 653, numbers 7 through 9, 26 through 28, and 10 through 14. All right, good luck.